Sure. Thanks, Ryan. Thanks for having us here. My name is Siddharth and my colleague Suhas. We represent Padmini VNA Mechatronics. So we are a 3-decade-old engineering company. We started off with auto components from the horn business and then went into emissions and clean tech products. And now as the industry is shifting to newer energy technologies, we also have a portfolio in the EV ecosystem. And my colleague Suhas represents a joint venture we have with Vitesco. So the firm he works for is called PV Clean Technologies.
Mobility Technologies. And the products are related to mostly thermal management.
No, it's a very interesting time to be in the auto component space in India. Right? So it's a big shift coming along. We had 2 or 3 large waves in the last 10 years. We had emission, then we had safety. So in the electric vehicle ecosystem will be a big transition for the component players. So most of the component ecosystem in India is thinking and also acting now to localize. So with the PLI schemes and incentives that come up, large players will definitely participate. Also a lot of mid-size and smaller players will start thinking about how to pivot from a traditional IC-driven environment to more hybrids or maybe battery plus electric vehicles.
With electrification, I think the entry barrier is quite less. And so because the entry barrier in terms of the investment and all these and the complexity of the components and all is also quite less. So there we will see a lot more smaller players other than probably the established players in the market in that sense. Yeah. So that will be a big shift in the market. Yeah.
The government plays a big role because all the policy shapes how the ecosystem will move around to capitalize on this opportunity. So FAME 1, FAME 2, all the PLI schemes that have come up in the recent months, what they will do is they'll definitely incentivize the market adoption faster. So with state governments also participating recently, the cost of acquiring an electric vehicle has come down significantly. So that will play a big role in incentivizing manufacturers to roll out more products. That in turn will have effect on the ecosystem to also develop and localize these subsystems and then finally the components. So right now most of the kits or the vehicle aggregates are either imported and then maybe there's some small value addition. But with the regulatory ecosystem gearing up to localize, I think manufacturers like ourselves will innovate and also try to bring out products which are more fit to market for the Indian ecosystem.
I mean, it's also a matter of localizing. Yeah, so this will be the flavor, and yes, the global ecosystem is quite mature in that sense. But it's also about making niche products for the Indian ecosystem and being cost conscious at the same time. Yeah? So this will be the flavor that is going to drive the product development in the EV space.
So alternative fuels already exist in the market, right? You have CNG, you have a little bit of ethanol for different purposes. Currently the share may be a high single-digit number. Hydrogen definitely is going to be a game changer. I think the hydrogen ecosystem in India already, big players like Reliance have announced plans. A lot of solution providers also are looking at hydrogen storage, not just for transportation, but also for energy. In the larger sense, green hydrogen, blue hydrogen. Definitely hydrogen will have a role to play. The limitations for that technology may be storage or maybe for long, for smaller vehicles it may be a bit of challenge. So fuel cells may be another alternative energy which they've been around for more than a few decades, but they've not seen a large share.
I mean, it will be distributed between the commercial vehicle, the two-wheeler space. So each of these will have their own dependency in terms of the energy source. Yeah. So, and also, like Sid was mentioning, basically for hydrogen, it's also energy intensive. So, and it depends on the renewable sector also kind of maturing. So both of them will go hand in hand, and based on that, I think the hydrogen technology also will come up. And in terms of the ethanol, of course, now it seems like it's inevitable, and I believe now almost all the OEMs have all their components being qualified for ethanol mixed fuel. Yeah. So that is at least in the next until 2030, probably ethanol could be a key kind of a differentiator in that sense from the traditional fuels for it. Yeah.
So electrification, like Suhas said, is definitely the flavor of the season. There will be hybrids, there will be battery, different technologies of storage will come up. So today you had, you had lead acid for the longest time. Then you have lithium. There are many chemistries: lithium phosphate, lithium oxide. You will have solid state batteries in the future. So the evolution of energy storage for mobility will definitely keep happening, and you will have different technologies to serve different use cases. Like the smaller light vehicles may have battery driven solutions. You might have hydrogen for large commercial applications like long haul trucks. You might have electric aeroplanes. I think Rolls Royce just debuted that a couple of weeks back. So I think electrification is definitely going to happen. Energy storage will have a big role to play. How you electrify these mobility and transportation solutions.
See, the energy density is going to play a key role. The way we are generating electricity for even the charging, and then wireless charging could be one key area. So it's also about how each of the elements which are part of this electrification segment, how are they going to mature? It's also going to be a key role. For example, if you look at the most of the discussions that are happening here, they are related in terms of how the charger space is also going to pick up, how people are going to invest in trying to make this along with the electrification. So it's going to be quite interesting in that sense. So that's the space where we see quite a bit of advancement in terms of technology as well. If you look at the chip shortage. So one is, are the OEMs themselves adapting to it? So in terms of the OEM, they are kind of cutting down on certain features. So for example, you don't need automated driving in a big sense in India. So you probably cut down on the number of variants, the number of features that you have. So that's one way of kind of working around in this particular ecosystem. But at the same time, it's also about partnerships, and then you also find alternates in terms of why was this dependency in terms of the chips. So it's because of the advent of electronics. So it's also about we will still retain, maybe there's a kind of deceleration in terms of the adaptation towards electronics. It's just a minor thing, probably around 2 quarters or something like that of a slowdown. But we see that it will be just like how we saw that there was a big bang in terms of how the market picked up. So even with semiconductor, as soon as there is some, all these supply chain issues are fixed, we will see that there will be a sudden peak in terms of the demand for those features.
Yeah, definitely.
Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you so much.